Hello everyone, or nobody, or no one, that's fine. Yeah, I'm just going down this little path here. It's, I lost a live stream this morning. I was doing a live and the battery conked out, and I think when you're on StreamYard, it doesn't upload it if you don't sort of officially leave or whatever, kind of thing, or do it correctly, some procedural gubbins. You'd think it'll upload it, and sort of save it for you or whatever. But it doesn't, it just conked out and it's not gone up, so I presume it's gone. It's a shame because there were some nice moments on that. Anyway, here we are in the forest. Don't know if anyone will join me. Pretty short notice, I didn't leave long. I wanted to sort of do another one because the other one was, curtailed by the kaput battery situation. So there we are. So, anyone wanting to step up can certainly step up. I'll put the camera down while I have a drink or something. What to do? Yeah, put it on here. Down here. There we go. Shimmy on. There you go. You can see me properly. Maybe. I just had a bit of a leg it down here. Coat down. Swig on here. And roll myself a parsley cigarette. Yeah. It's got no nicotine in it. It's non-allergenic and it's organic. And if you feel like a cigarette, you kind of want to just get off the nicotine. It's not good. Of course, nicotine was used as an insecticide in greenhouses, and that they used to put it in. They used to use old tobacco and mash it all up, mash tobacco up, and put it through one of them old brass atomizer things, which is like a bicycle pump, and spray their plants in the greenhouse. So there we go. So it's a poison, basically. Very, very addictive one. But the most harmful thing about tobacco is all the other stuff that's in it as well, and rather than nicotine. I don't know whether you probably can't hear this very well, so I'm a bit far away. So I'm going to roll a little cigarette. See if anyone's arrived yet. Nobody. That's wonderful, isn't it? Only to know nobody cares. Only kidding. No, people do care, but they're busy with other things, which is fine. It's a Sunday and it's a beautiful day, and everyone's gone out. And why the hell do they want to watch me? No idea. Anyway, there we go. That's not tobacco. Where's my parsley? Parsley. Oh, there we go. Let me trim that up. Nice trim that one, isn't it? Very nice. Yeah, cool. Right. So people listening to this back later on, or watching it back, some of them might enjoy it. Who can't get out of the house much and stuff like that, will probably enjoy the nature. But we can see. It's a shame about the other live because it was very interesting. With some really nice moments on it. Mitzy Lynn and Karli were there, and somebody else joined briefly. I can't remember who, unfortunately. Slightly compromised by all the aluminium, no doubt, particles in the atmosphere, but never mind, worse things happen at sea, apparently, but then again, perhaps they don't. Perhaps this is the worst thing to ever happen to the world with their spraying operations. It's absolutely freezing cold. Totally freezing. Yeah, anyone wants to get up? Yeah, you're welcome. Who have we got in? MI 3 3/3, 3 3/8, MI 2 6. MI worth keeping alive for the benefit of your, I don't know, your delectation. Perhaps I amuse you very slightly because I've not been rubbed out yet by Mr. Bond. Basildon Bond, you know, the secret agent, licensed to thrill and to kill. So there we go. So I've not been vaporized yet. You know, God knows I'll probably be satellite GPS in a minute and just explode on screen, and then I'll go viral for the first time ever in the history of the you know, the love wave mechanism. Yeah, the wonderful sending out the love there that they like to hate so much. That's what it is, good versus evil, basically. It's nice to be nice. Don't forget that MI5. It's nice to be nice, very nice to be nice. And you could be actually a lot nicer if you would only take on the World Economic Forum, yeah, and tell them that what we require is world economic decorum, yes, and a bit of restraint on laissez-faire, which is free trade, of course. Yeah, it's a French phrase, laissez-faire, free trade, and basically there was something called, I can't remember what they were called now, utilitarianism people. And they were all supposedly for the greater good and all this jazz, you know. And, you know, they did used to help with people who were suffering, you know, some harsh conditions and stuff like that, and did help in some ways. But, unfortunately, they refused to, in their kind of thing, they refused to have any constraint on free trade, which is laissez-faire, you know. You know, fair, I suppose, is like a fair, you know, like, you know, selling your wares at the fair, you know. Laissez-faire. I'm not sure exactly what the words mean, but I suppose it's just laissez is free. I don't know. Fair might be free, I don't know. Trade free, you know, I don't know. But total freedom of constraint on people's ability to, you know, accrue and squirrel away so much money is obviously corrupts, absolutely, because money corrupts, power corrupts, and the more power you got, the more corrupt you get. That's the problem we got, is, of course, you know, we want some economic decorum and some restraints on how much people can actually own. Never mind you'll own nothing and be happy and all. They've got everything. They've stolen everything from the poor. They took away the land and the enclosure movement and stuff like that. Enclosed all the land, and the barons, you know, blah blah, charged a toll on the people who wanted to till the land and all that. And this has been going on, you know, all this stuff has been going on for thousands and thousands of years, various, you know, exploitations of peoples, and, you know, well, you know, and these the people in power today are the descendants of the people in the past who made rather a good living, you know, out of the blood and guts of the poor people who put them where they are. And now, well, you know, they couldn't give two flies, you know. They couldn't give a gnat's fart, you know, about us. They say there's too many of us. I think there's too few of them with far too much money. Yes, far too few of them with far too much power. So all we need to do is get rid of the rotten few. Quite an easy thing to do when you think you've got 8 billion people. You know, but you know, who knows? You know, maybe we'll just allow them to, you know, completely take over all our lives and everything, you know, completely destroy our liberties and freedoms and, you know, everything else. Or perhaps there is a way, perhaps there are a few people paying attention and realising that their lives will be affected too, not only by the climate engineering, which obviously everyone has to breathe, people who aren't in the fish tank, or people who some cold fish in the fish tank, or people who, you know, I don't know, they're in some scuba gear underwater or something. I suppose they can, you know, get the fresh oxygen straight out of the cylinders. You know, that's okay. You know, and unless you've got a proper, what's the word for it? You know, kind of, I don't know, insulated kind of bubble with your own, you know, atmosphere inside it, and you can waddle around with that, then, you know, you're really having to breathe the same air that we're breathing, which, well, today it's a lot better than usual. It's nice and blue out there. Not as blue as my t-shirt, but never mind that. But it's quite nice. There you go. Anyway, one of the reasons I came in here is I wanted to show you this plant down here. Where's it gone? It's a fern. It's not yet come out yet. I'll show you what it looks like before the fern kind of unfurls. It's lovely. Well, it's just awesome. There you go. Yeah, I've got that on the camera, so can you say that? Not. See how nature works. It's so excellent, isn't it? You know, it's just amazing. It's coming back to life, all this stuff. Wonderful, isn't it? Yeah. There we are. Oh dear. There. Got my yeah. Alright, put them back in there. Right, nobody's there. Wonderful. Talking to myself again. It's always good talking to yourself because, you know, at least you can, well, you know, stops people hijacking the conversation. You can talk complete and utter total fraud, which is always, well, far more important than listening to politicians groaning on about the things that they're proposing to do and promising, especially at election time, while they're kissing babies and hugging grandmas, and, you know, saying how wonderful it's going to be when they level everything up and the green shoots of recovery are just around the corner and all that lot, and you know, back to basics and all that lot. Lovely, you know, lovely people, wonderful people. Remember John Major, Back to Basics? What a guy. If there's any guy that ever needed a massage, it was him, because he had such a long lip, what do you call it, that thing on your mouth before your lips. He had such a wide thing there. It was awesome. He could have grown the absolute most monstrous, well, not monstrous, you know, enormous trademark, what do you call it, moustache. And it would have been like a real world record moustache. If you ever look at a picture of John Major, former Conservative Prime Minister of Britain, and that was his phrase he came up with, back to basics, you know. Yeah. Interesting, yeah. Anyway, how long have we been on for? Nearly 15 minutes. That's all. I did have a couple of people in earlier on. We've been, I think it is, or maybe I don't know. They'll be sniffing around later on. Somebody will, from MI 3 3/8, which is, you know, Ministry of Disinformation and all that, you know. Yeah, and Ministry of truth. Not that I'll be on the job. Yeah, so, you know, we're getting there. There's another one. British Rail use. That was a British Rail slogan. We're getting there. And another one was the British Gas advert. After it wasn't British Gas anymore, they started selling it off. And they said their thing was, don't you just love being in control? You know, in other words, gas was more controllable than an electric hob. In other words, it's instant heat, you know, and all this kind of jazz. Yeah, so there we go. Political slogans, eh? I don't know, land fit for heroes. Yes, of course. Of course it's fit for heroes like Klaus Schwab and who else? What's his name? Sunak. What's the crack, Sunak? You know what I mean? Hey? Are you a bit out of whack, Sunak? Sunak? What are we called? Sumac, maybe? That's a tree, actually, a sumac. It's kind of a Japanese tree. It's a very nice tree. Ornamental, but very poisonous. Rather like our Prime Minister, which hasn't been elected, of course. He just trundled in there with his billions and billions and billions of money. You know, that's what they do, isn't you know, nothing's ever, you know what I mean? The whole illusion of political, you know, you've got democracy. It's a complete joke. It's a complete fallacy. You know, it's total, you know, what's the word for it? It's complete and utter total lie, you know. Democracy, my foot. No such thing. Two sides of the same bird, you know, two wings of the same bird, left, right. It's just a game for them. They're enjoying themselves, having a wonderful time, old bean. And what do they call each other in Westminster? The honourable member, you know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Prime Minister's question time. You know, if somebody doesn't want to answer a question, they always say that. Would you? I refer the honourable gentleman to the reply I gave some moments ago. And that's it. In other words, he's not going to elaborate any further. When he's been questioned, you know, with some kind of, you know, acuity. You know, but there we go. Yeah, anyway. I mean, it's quite a lovely place, isn't it? That's a nice tree, this one here. The beech tree. Look at it, look at it, look. Lovely thing. Yeah, they want to kill all these and chop everything down, you know. It's a real shame, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? What's going on there? There's a silver birch there. Yeah. Looks a bit, doesn't look very well, that one, does it? Doesn't look very well, the trunk at all. This is a young oak tree by the look of it. Yeah, young oak. Looking a bit sparse. And a silver birch over here. This is a beech. These are beech leaves. They often stay on the tree. Beech leaves. This is a beech tree, this one here. Whereas I think that's a birch. I can get a bit mixed up with beeches and birches. But no, I can't, because this is definitely a beech tree. Because I know by the leaves. But that's not got leaves on it, so that must be what I said before. What did I say? Oh goodness me, anyway, never mind. I refer the honourable people that aren't watching at the moment to the statements I made some moments ago. Oh, geez, I can't remember. It's the aluminium, you know, it's the aluminium. It's gradually affecting my brain cell. Yeah, so we've got one left now. Just functioning ever so slightly. Just enough to, I don't know. provided the entertainment for the power structure, which they love to listen to me waffling on, you know, about how we can stop them, you know, and they're just laughing at us, aren't they? You know, because they know they've got all the power. And we will never come together because we're totally divided and distracted by their mainstream everything, you know, so very few original voices anyway, you know. There's nobody taking them on at all. Everyone's cowering down, you know. I think they're having a bit of a go in Oxford. There's a few fairly brainy people in Oxford that don't want to be in a 15-minute city, and I'm sure they'd like to keep their property and own something and be happy rather than nothing and be happy. You know, there we go. And this doesn't look too good, does it? This is a pond, which is looking rather murky and I don't know, it's not looking too well, is it? Some kind of gunk on the top of it. I don't know if you can see that. And we've got this, that's alright, just leaves, but you know, that's how they, yeah. And there's nothing in it. There's no tadpoles or anything. There should be about now, by now. Should be something in it, surely. You know, some form of life. You know, a few water skaters and that, you know, whatever. Maybe. Or perhaps it's too early, perhaps it's just been too cold. But it's been cold and then not cold. You know, because they keep piddling with the temperatures because of the, you know, climate engineering, which is a completely different situation, thing to what they're saying is causing the anomalies in temperatures. When you suddenly get a 30-degree temperature change in the same day, you've got to realise that isn't nature, that is climate engineering and ice nucleation technology, which they do from aircraft, which blissfully there's very few in the sky just at the moment, although this morning it was freezing cold. So there we go. I wonder how much battery we've got left. It should tell me in a bit, shouldn't it? Well, I brought my charger with me so I can keep going for at bum numbing length, you know. If you're sitting on your bums, that is. You could walk around watching me with your television strapped to your skull. Oh, no, sorry. You know, some kind of trolley device, you know. Television with a, I don't know, some kind of I don't know, generator or something chugging away with that. You know, hopefully, I don't know, something like an alcohol engine or something like that. Be nice. No idea. You know, I'm just saying, instead of relying on petrochemicals, you make alcohol. I don't know why they don't put all the alcohol, you know, all the whiskey distilleries and all that lot, put it in the bloody motors if they really want to save the planet, you know. Yeah. Because alcohol, I mean, it burns pretty good, doesn't it? Doesn't leave a lot of crap in the atmosphere. Unlike, you know, the petroleum stuff, you know. Where is this camera? Is it upside down? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's upside down. That's what's wrong. That's better. Alright. Ooh, here we go. Ooh. A quick flip. Yeah, you've got to flip things now and again, haven't you? So, I suppose it's, you know, I suppose everyone's out enjoying themselves on the beach and things like that, you know. It's a lovely spot, this. Yeah, that's where I get confused with. That's a birch, and the other smaller one, hang on, there we go. That's a birch. It's because they're both beginning with B. This is a birch tree, and the one I was showing you before with the leaves was a beech. I know what beeches look like. You know, because I've done various jobs. I've done gardening, decorating, plastering, joinery, welding. I'm a qualified welder, you know. Every welder that's worth a salt, you know, can actually. No, every welder in the world knew that straight away the those towers that suddenly were vaporised when the fire was out. They knew straight away that there was something not quite scientifically correct about that. But yeah, it's all been glossed over, isn't it? Yeah, I noticed the guy the other day put some stuff out. It's a good channel. It's called Peace Makes Truth, and he does quite a bit on 9/11. And he put some stuff out, and he was showing that in 22 years after the towers collapsed, you still can't make a phone call from the airplane, from an airplane, you know, at whatever altitude they were supposed to be flying at the time that they made those supposed calls, which were obviously faked, like the moon landings and everything else. Yeah, moon landings, I mean, you know, they were faked in 1968, year before, out in the desert somewhere with sand and concrete. And, you know, stuff like that. You know, they didn't mix it or anything, flick it around. No, they didn't do any, you know, they didn't mix it. They didn't put some water in it. It looked quite strange, didn't it? But, you know, and then they slowed the camera down so that, you know, it looked like, you know, there's very little gravity. I'm in zero gravity at the moment, almost going to float away. Float up, you know. I'll be, what do you call it? No, I was just wondering, you know, we're all sons of God, aren't we? Apparently, you know, God, that thing that spells dog backwards, the inversion, the great inversion creator. Yeah, was it God or was it, you know, did God have, is it a male? Why does it have to be a male? It's ridiculous, it doesn't make sense. It's creation, it's life itself. You know, I don't know why it has to have, you know, gonads or whatever, you know. I don't see why it can't be a bit of both, perhaps male and female. Apparently we are all supposed to have male and female, and, you know, there's the XX and the XY chromosomes and stuff like that. Yeah, whatever it is. I can't remember exactly. But, you know, if you've got, you know, a certain one from your mum and a certain one from your dad, you'd be either a male or a female. So you could have been either. And we've all got a belly button, of course. Yeah, and we've all got breasts of some form or other. You know, some people with, some gentlemen with quite fairly large ones. But mine are fairly sedate. You know, hello, good morning. You okay? Oh, this is a lovely dog. Do you want to say hello to my friends? Say hello. Oh, aren't you beautiful? Oh, what kind of a dog is he?
It's a Cocker Spaniel.
He always looks a Spaniel, of course he is. He's a little one though, isn't he? Quite a dinky one. Some of them pretty big, aren't they? What's he called?
It's a Ruby.
Ruby.
Staff.
Oh, is she? Oh, bless her. Yeah, lovely. I had a cat called Ruby, tortoiseshell cat. We called her Ruby, yeah. Used to perch on my shoulder all the time. You know, when it was a kitten, and it did it when it was older as well, and I could walk around the house with it on my shoulder. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Nice dog. Oops. Trees. Yeah. Lovely, isn't it? Oh dear, look at that up there. You can see them devils. Yeah, look at them. Lockstep, you know. Yeah, look at that one. Yeah. Right, exactly in line with one another. Drones, probably. You know, I don't know. Any pilots on board? I don't know. Here comes another one. No, he's going at a different, vectoring off at a different angle. He'll probably meet someone else up here or somewhere, but no, there's no one there. He'll be doing the extras and the wet jazz. You know, I don't know. It's not that something. There we go. So, everything's wonderful, and everything's perfectly fine, isn't it? Yes. It does make you feel good, a bit of sunshine, I must say that. You know, a little bit of sunshine, everyone forgets how completely dark it's been all year, basically, except for a few odd half days here and there. And in fact, this morning it was absolutely freezing cold. Now it's very pleasant. But I was rubbing my hands this morning. I was trying to keep warm, and I'd only been out for about an hour and a half because my battery died and I scuttled back. But it was freezing cold, absolutely freezing cold. Now I'm fine. That's because they were using the ice technology, the ice nucleation technology, you know, which they spray something and it instantly freezes. If you ever watch Dane's channel, Dane Wigington on YouTube, you can watch a film called The Dimming, and there's also some of his videos on his website and stuff like that on his channel on YouTube. If you go to Dane Wigington, you can watch The Dimming on his channel, and you can watch various videos, you know, and he goes on about ice nucleation technology. And there's one where they get a glass of water and they put about 2 drops of this chemical in it, and it instantly freezes, you know, just like that, you know. So that's ice nucleation technology for you. That's how efficient it is and how clever it is. They're very, very intelligent, these people. No wisdom involved, obviously. If they had any wisdom, they wouldn't be doing anything of what they're doing. You know, knowledge is not wisdom, unfortunately. But these scientists they'll experiment and experiment and experiment because they want to see their experiments, and they want the results, you know. They want to see the curiosity kill the cat, and curiosity probably kill the planet if we let them. So, you know, we've got to stop them, you know, doing these ridiculous things. There's all these biolabs, there's about 400 or so all over the world, inventing all kinds of God knows what they're doing, pathogens and this, that and the other, to eliminate us, because they've always been on about depopulation. You know, the king's been on about depopulation. We've heard Sir Richard, I don't want to say his name, but you know, the Twattenborough, whatever he's called. Yeah, the man who had that book, what was he called, or that program, whatever it was, Life on Earth. I wonder how long that'll last. You know, it's pretty ironic, isn't it? Ironic title, when he, above everyone else, should know that we're losing 200 to 300 species of insects and animals and stuff like that every single day. Yeah, and that's several, I don't know, million times the background rate. Something like that, something ridiculous, 1.5 million times the background rate. It's just, you know, this is absolutely disgusting what they're doing. So if you go to the real science, nobody wants to do any real science, do they? You know, they want to genetically alter and modify everything, including human beings. Nice of them, eh? And yet, you know, God made, supposedly God made the world perfect. And if you look at the world, whether God made it, or whether it's Mother Earth, or whether it's the Spirit of Earth, you know, the Great Father, or the Great Spirit, as the American Indians would have said, you know, which they were obviously totally wiped out almost, and then thrown onto reservations, their land totally stolen, and well, that's democracy for you, isn't it? Yes. Oh yes, indeed. They broke almost, well, yes, I think every treaty. They either broke, or, you know, only gave them half of what they were going to say, and even put smallpox in the blankets at one stage of one tribe, you know, to, you know, kill them off. They shot most of the buffalo. They almost shot the buffalo to extinction. Someone stopped them actually killing off the final few buffalo left. And they managed to come back a little, but they were, that was their, that was one of their main things, buffalo. Yeah, so there you go. You've got a state in America called Buffalo, haven't you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure where it is, but it certainly doesn't belong to, certainly should belong to the indigenous African American, Indian Americans or whatever. American Indians, rather. Which they're not even Indians anyway. It's only because Columbus thought he'd discovered the Indies that they were called Indians in the first place. And of course, the Indians were maligned horribly, called the wild, savage red men and all that lot. It's pathetic. They were beautiful people who only took what they needed from the earth. Yeah, they didn't exploit, they didn't go around killing everything, for the sake of it. They didn't go around ripping each other off particularly. Sometimes tribes would fall out, obviously, this, that and the other would happen, but it's kind of like something that humans do now and again. But what can we say? They were treated absolutely in the most draconian, evil ways. The most savage, the most unfeeling, demonic, nefarious. I can't think of the words, but in the most horrible, disgusting manner. They broke every treaty they made with the father, with the I think they called him the. What did they call him? Not the father. I forget what they called the president, Washington or whoever it was, blah blah blah. What were they called him? They called him something like the great not the great father. That might be, I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Waffling. Keep on waffling. Yeah, well, getting a bit out of breath. Let's look at the path anyway. I'm walking. See these pines here, these are deciduous pines that drop the needles every year. Like the larch does. I don't think this is a larch though, because larches are usually more cone-shaped. But I guess it could be a larch or related to a larch. There's lots of trees and it's very confusing because there are lots of them look very similar. But this is a evergreen here, this one here. And if you look on the ground, well, not particularly under this one, but those leaves are not looking too great, are they? But they, a lot of these trees, especially in the other part of the forest, which I'm not in at the moment, there's lots of evergreen pines that are losing little branches and little, pine needles and stuff like that. There's a few there, but that's a new growth. That's from a this one up here. I don't know why they dropped out. This one here. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got them wrong. I don't know why they dropped down, but I have no idea. Could have been an animal nibbling them, something, squirrel or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, like a dog will chew grass. When it feels a bit sick, sometimes it'll chew a little bit of grass or something. Maybe squirrels chew a bit of pine needles. I don't know. No idea. But as a medicinal thing, because I've heard that certain pine needles can be very medicinal. Some of the really long ones, really long needles are about, I don't know, about so about, I don't know, about 5.5 inches long or something. Some of those really long ones, you know, you can brew them up and make them a drink, a very detoxifying drink, I believe. But I suppose you have to check these things out and get the right genus of tree. Bloody blah. Anyway, there we go. So yeah. Oh, it's Lynn. Sorry, Lynn, I haven't been looking at you. What's going on in the chat or anything? How are you? Yeah, I'm back on. I don't know what happened to the thing we were on before. No, you've been on for ages. I'm sorry, love. Oh, you made me a cup of tea as well. Why don't you step on up and we'll have a chat? We can have a virtual hug and a cuddle, you know? I'm missing female company. I'm such a sad old man, you know? I'm a good old boy. I'm good in the sack. Ooh, me and you, babes. Look at the teeth, though. They're wicked, aren't they? It's a bit scary, them. No, you have to have a laugh, aren't you? Probably, yeah. So unsubscribe now after my... What's the word for it? Amorous. What's the word for it? Ministrations. Is that the word? I don't know. Sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds pretty cool. I don't know why. I'm talking to this twaddle today, aren't I? But yeah, it's all good. High winds and all. No threats of a tornado. That's not good. I'm messing about. Low power mode. Right, this time I've got my special device so that it won't mess up the stream. I think what happened with the last one is it died off. So here we go. Let's plug this in. This should work. What's that doing? Is it charging? I don't know. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. It's charging. I've got this bloody great charger here, which is pretty damn good. That should keep us going. What is it? 2000 mAh power bank. Pretty cool. So that'll keep us going now. I've got to take this with me every time now. I think my battery in the phone, because the phone's getting pretty old, it's getting... Oh, I've lost the battery thing. It dropped out. Be careful, I've got to keep that in there. And put this back in my pocket. Damn planes, I hate all of them. It's a helicopter. Never mind, it looked like an ambulance one because it was bright yellow and red. So maybe it's doing something useful. Oh dear, don't worry about the dogs. It's fine enough. Don't worry about them. I don't mind getting a bit of muck on me. Yes, they're always...
I am trying to... She is doing it like
train them, yeah.
Well, thank you.
No, it's no problem, don't worry. Dogs do their thing. Usually up against my leg. Such wonderful creatures. Anyway, I'm just going to shut the screen a minute. Shut the... you won't be able to see me for a second because I'm putting this battery thing in my pocket without unplugging the power supply, hopefully. Hang on. Put that in there. Right, oops. There we go, it's still working, isn't it? Yeah, good. I'll have to hold it at the bottom because I don't want it to drop out. What I might do next time is bring a little bit of tape and make sure it stays in. Oof. Anyway, there we go. Oof. It's turned out a lovely day. It was horribly freezing before. It was horrible sky and everything. We used the ice technology and stuff, you know, the ice twaddle, the ice nucleation business, you know. Horrible, isn't it? You know, when you get a beautiful day like this, but this morning, I mean, it's lovely now. My hands aren't cold at all. Just, just all right. But this morning, I was rubbing my hands together and all that, Yeah. Yeah, you missed me. Yeah, you missed a few bits that were quite amusing after he'd gone. Unfortunately, you lost all the stream, haven't we? We had some good moments on there. I enjoyed the bee moment. It was quite amazing. Yeah, where are we up to? Right, I'm going to put all your things on here. Right. What do you think of young Hazza acting like a spoiled American? I don't know who Hazza is. Who is Hazza? Oh, there he is. Oh, you can tell me in a minute. We have buffalo in a lot of states. Here in Pennsylvania, we breed them with cows. We get beefalo meat. Wow, very good. That's interesting. Yeah, our forefather Washington. Yeah, that's right. Oops. What we going now? Is it tea time? More doggies. The bee was friendly. It was lovely, wasn't it? They're more stingy, aren't they? Ah, Prince Harry. Yeah. No idea what's he done. He was acting like a spoiled what? Spoiled brat, something, what was it? Think of young Hazard acting like a spoiled American. Well, he's not an American, is he? So I don't know how he can act like a spoiled American, actually. But I suppose, I don't know about him. I don't follow these royal people. I'm not slightly interested in, like the carcass following ceremony. I can't remember what I called it. This, what do they call it? The coffin following job. The former Queen of England. And everyone's paying so much attention to that. The corpse. It's just pathetic. What's the Queen ever done for us? Absolutely nothing. It's extraordinary. And if you ever want to find out what the royals can do, you've only got to watch a film called, oh my goodness, what's it called? Oh dear, I can't remember. It's a John Pilger film. It's about the Chagos Islands. And the Americans wanted a military base on it. And of course they've got it. But, I know what it's called. It's called Stealing a Nation. That's what it's called. Watch that on, I think it's still up on YouTube. If not, find it somewhere else on another search engine or something, or you'll be able to watch it. It's a guy called John Pilger, Pilger. Pilger. He was, I think he was originally an Australian, but he lived in Britain for many years. He was an investigative journalist of the old school, you know what I mean? And he really did go into things and expose a lot of things. It's a fantastic beacon of truth, And he did this film about the Chagos Islands and how they turfed the indigenous people off their island, who could live there for generations and generations and generations. And they used to use their dogs for fishing, to help them fish. And it's hard to credit this and believe it. What they actually did to help break the spirit of the people is they actually rounded up the dogs and threw them into it's saying low battery again. It's closed. Why isn't it? Oh, it's saying 10%. Wait a minute, maybe it's not on. Hang on. Let me just check this out. I need to switch that thing on. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Let's have a look. Oh, it's working now. Yeah, I hadn't pressed go on the battery. That's wrong. On 9% now. Hopefully it won't conk out again. I'll have to keep my eye on that because I don't want to lose this stream this time. I think if you don't sign out properly, it just scraps the stream and just, I don't know, considers that you've kind of had enough and it wasn't good enough, and you'd switch off your phone or something like that in the middle of the stream, which I would never do, certainly not without saying goodbye. So that was sad. Never mind, what we're on now, 13%. Oh, it's working well, this battery. It's gone from 9 to 13 pretty quickly, and we're still streaming, so that's good. That's excellent. I miss your Queen. She had such a lovely smile. Do you know what? Don't politicians have a lovely smile? Especially when they're kissing babies at election time. You know, come on, they're actors. It's a joke. Yeah, all the great airs and graces and all that lot. That's all been bred into them. And you know, the Queen. I mean, she was only doing what she was told. I feel a bit sorry for her, really, to be honest. But I don't actually, because she was horrible to Princess Diana. And of course, they got rid of her, didn't they? Because she was pregnant to Dodi Al-Fayed. And they couldn't have, you know, a possible, you know, well, they couldn't have a pure. It had to be a pure blood. They couldn't have anyone that wasn't a pure blood in line to the throne. They just wouldn't let that happen. Unfortunately, Diana and Dodi were a bit naive, I think, to realise that they had any chance. Maybe they weren't intending to actually have children. Maybe they were just, that's just how it happened. That does happen to a lot of people. They're not intending to have children, but when they have children, then they decide to, keep the baby, rather than destroy the poor thing, and get married and that, So, I think it's very sad, but never mind. It's just a theory, obviously, it'll never be known, but they got rid of her pretty damn quickly without there wasn't any autopsy, I don't think, so there was no checking whether she was pregnant or not, I don't think, blah, blah, blah. But there we go. Yeah, so anyway, this will perhaps change your view of the Queen a little bit. Obviously, she's only doing what she's told. They're all doing what they're told, aren't they? The politicians and everyone else are all doing what they're told. How nice of them. Just do what you're told by the, the wicked people that's pulling the strings and, treating them like sock puppets. So that's what they do, isn't it? So, so what happened is they took, to break the spirit of the people in this film, it explained that they took the dogs, rounded them up into vans and gassed the dogs like the Nazis with the zyklon gas, where they gas people, So, that's tyranny for you. That's complete and utter total evil to break the spirit of the people like that. And the people got obviously very sad by that. And, because they used their dogs for fishing. The dogs are there to swim out and help them catch the fish. Dear me, honestly, the more but that film is real eye-opener. And because they owned the land, it was a British protectorate, the land, and they allowed the Americans to take over for a bombing base, which they used to bomb Afghanistan and all that. That was a massive military base on it now, and there's it was a paradise, and now they've turned it into that, Anyway, it's a nice stream here. But I'm not explaining this very well. I think I need to sit down on a little bench here. Sit down a minute. Roll a bit of a cigarette. There we are. I just look at the sky for a minute or something. I don't know. Just roll a cigarette, which is a bit boring to watch. So basically, these people lost their home, basically, and the Privy Council came up to the Queen finally at the end of the programme, and they said they'd written this document up, and it had to be signed by the Queen, obviously, to transfer the islands to the American to the Americans. And the Privy Council comes up with this document. It says blah 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 blah. And the Queen just writes agreed, and that's it. And it was all done and dusted, and that was it. And there's no comeback then, because it's a bit like a pack of cards, isn't it? The King's a pretty high card, isn't it? And the Queen is as well. So so they've got to follow all these procedures, haven't they? And all that, procedural gubbins, legal gubbins, and all that. But really, it was disgusting, and the people were shipped out to places like Malaysia, I think, and, places where they didn't know anyone. They didn't have any, any connection with the place, and they were thrown into tin shacks and wooden shacks, really shoddy accommodation, whereas they were on a pristine island, they had their own culture and all that lot, and it was absolutely beautiful. And now, well, what happened when they were over there, they were so poor and everything, they weren't being given proper health care and jobs and things like that, and they died of a lot of them died of what they called the sadness. And it made me cry, that film. It really did. And they were lovely people, and fantastic people, with virtually no crime on the islands. That's the Chagos Islands. Have a look at that. Have a look at that film. Stealing a Nation, That's what they do. They steal everything. They've stolen everything. They've stolen everything from the people. The rich and powerful, the barons, the queens, the church has stolen lots of land. And they steal people's money all the time by conning them that they're going to get to heaven if they give all their life savings and possessions over to the Church of England, or the Pope, the Vicar of Christ, as he's known, with the fish hat on his head. It's just ridiculous, honestly. Absolute tyranny, but there we go. That's what they have. This is what we find. Yeah. Anyway, I remember, Princess Di was beautiful. She was lovely. And there's a book printed in about 1995, about 2 years before Princess Diana died. And it shows you a very early photograph of Prince Charles and Diana. Basically, she's a kid. She looks about 11, 12 years old. So, we can join the dots on that one, can't we? Poor thing, honestly. Get them young, get them indoctrinated, get them, capture them, capture their soul, pull at their heartstrings, It's just horrible. It's horrible. I mean, Charles was, he was busy, he had loads of lady friends and all that. Well, of course they do. They all do, don't they? Oh, bloody lot of them. But he had to have a sweet, charming looking virgin, had to be virgin. If she wasn't a virgin, no way could she have married a future king. Or a possible future king. I think it's a shame, not Harry, William. It's a shame William wasn't given the job, and it's gone over to big ears, I wonder what they really think of him, you know what I mean? Privately, I wonder what they really think of him. That'd be a fly on the wall, but it never will be. We'll never know, will we? What could have been, and now that they've stolen everything, they want us to own nothing and be happy and be thrown into 15-minute cities. It's nice, isn't it? And it's not just the average person like me and you that's got very little resources, money, property, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Probably nothing much at all. And it's not us, but, you know, they want to take everything off everyone that's not in their club. And that includes people who might be, I don't know, they might have a big business with, you know, they might have 10 million in the bank. They're after them as well, not just us. And that's what the rich, as it were, relatively rich, have got to understand. You know, they might have worked really, really hard all their life from being a child and doing the right schooling and all that lot to set up a business. Maybe they're cabinet makers and got a cabinet making firm that employs 200-300 people or something like that. Something useful, you know. Making wonderful, you know, wooden cabinets and, you know, tables and chairs and, you know, desks and things, you know, all that lot, you know, and they've worked hard for it and they're employing all these people. And if they're employing hundreds of people, surely, you know, they're doing a good job. And the people, cabinet makers, are pretty well paid as far as I know. You know, because it's a very, very highly skilled job. It's more than just being a joiner and fitting windows and stuff like that. It's absolutely, you know, tremendous skills involved. So, someone that's, you know, giving employment to all those people and industry and all that lot, you know, and they're paying the taxes and blah, 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 they're benefiting the country. You know, why shouldn't they have a bit more money than someone else? I'm not a bloody communist, you know, sod that. I'm not a communist. I do have sympathies with Russia's plight, in that a lot of the Donbass region and various others voted to go back with Russia and all that lot, and Zelensky and all them guys, they didn't want that, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. There's the threat of NATO, you see, on the doorstep of Russia. And Russia's on a flat plane, you know, from Moscow to, Kiev. I think it's virtually flat all the way, you know. There's no massive Ural mountains in between or anything like that, you know. So it's a flat plane, and they don't want the Americans marching into Moscow, do they? You know, rolling into Moscow with their tanks and all the sophisticated weaponry and shit like that, you know. No way. So, you know, that's the last thing. That's what you call poking the Russian bear when there's a threat of NATO on its doorstep, you know. So, you know, he was almost forced to respond in a way, which was horrible in itself. I don't think Putin's a wonderful guy or anything. None of them are they? Who get various nefarious thingy bobs, but you know, I don't have so much sympathy with him, but the Russian people. Quite interesting. I was in church the other day. I like to visit spiritual people and stuff. I like to go into church and have a cup of tea and stuff like that. You know, speak to nice people, and you know, things like that. I like doing that. You know, it's what can we say really? It's just, you know, it's nice to be nice, isn't it? And nice to be around nice people that aren't going to suddenly start bawling and swearing at you or something like that. You know. And they're certainly not Bible bashing people. No one's ever told me to read the Bible or, you know, isn't Jesus Christ wonderful or anything like that. I've never even heard Christ being mentioned. You know, it's incredible, really. I mean, there are pamphlets about, you know, blah, 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 for Lent and stuff, you know. You know, you go in there and have a cup of tea and give a donation. The donations don't go to the church. They go to the social, keeping the cafe open and stuff like that. Because I did ask that. I said, well, yes, I wouldn't mind, you know, a cup of tea and a bowl of that lovely soup you've got there. You know, is it vegan? Yes, it is vegan. So, yeah, bowl of soup and a roll and a cup of tea. put 2 or 3 quid in the pot. So that's fine to keep it rolling, to keep the the community kind of doing communal things and keep people communicating and being able to meet and discuss and be nice. So I support all that, of course I do. But the actual the infrastructure of the what you might call the religious, the established religions, I don't go for any of it. I mean, I don't go for Bibles either, because Bibles, I mean, what are they? They're pieces of paper printed by people, and for instance, the King James version. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's a version. So, what was the original? The version has got, obviously scribes and advisors and all that lot added and subtracted whatever they wanted to, whichever suited them. Incredibly, they allowed "thou shalt not kill" in there. It's incredible, really. Really, to allow that. And what do all the time? Kill, kill, kill. Yeah. Justifying wars, creating wars, fermenting discord and divide and rule and all that lot. Fermenting, conflict between races, people, religions. It's all mad. It's all crazy shit. And at the end of the day, no one's ever come back from heaven to tell us how wonderful it is, except, apparently Christ. That's just one person, isn't it? Wouldn't mind a few other people dropping down from heaven now and again, just to confirm that Christ, wasn't, conning us all. Not that Christ necessarily would. Perhaps there was a Jesus, I don't know. I have no idea whether he existed or not, whether it's a figment. I can't remember what the word Jesus means, but it means something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was quite interesting what the actual words meant to mean, like in the, what do you call it? Is it dramatic or something? What? Do you know what it is, Lynn? Oh, what's this? Yeah. Oh, that's a good one, yeah. Yeah, I do as well. Yeah. They have to clean up after themselves rather than have some minion there wiping up for them. Which wouldn't be a very nice task. But yeah, they're just horrible people, aren't they? I mean, the politicians don't send their sons to the front line, do they? I mean, they may have done in the First World War and perhaps the Second World War. They, certain of them might have had, certain generals and that, but they'd generally be behind the lines. They wouldn't be right in the trenches, They'd be directing things from, I don't know, a couple of miles back from the actual fighting area, I should imagine. And, they'll get all their medals for everything, and basically they're just in the tent drinking tea, telling people what to do. Keep shooting the Hun, and keep shooting the Bosch, and calling them nasty names and everything, And yet in 1914, Christmas came around. I think it was the Germans that started piping up. It was Christmas morning, the birds were singing, the firing hadn't opened up. Everyone was kind of thinking, wow, it's Christmas Day, I guess, in the British trenches and the German trenches. And somebody piped up with a hymn, with a carol, Christmas carol. I think it was the Germans, I'm not sure. I think so, I've got a feeling it was. But it may have been the British, it doesn't really matter. They were just kids, for God's sake. Some of the conscripts from England were like 9 years old, 11 years old and stuff like that. They were a bit tall for their age and, made themselves look like, men and stuff like that, And you got through. They'd let anyone in, wouldn't they, basically? Anyone, that could be trained to use a weapon, a rifle or whatever, they'd let them in, wouldn't they? because they needed men on the front, you know, enlist now, and conscription. When people wouldn't enlist, the only way you could get out of it was to be what they called a connie, which is a conscientious objector for religious reasons or whatever. But you were vilified and sent white feathers, you know, which is supposed to be a sign of cowardice, you know, called horrible names in your community and that for not, you know, not joining up, not, you know, for being a connie, conscientious objector. You know, hang on a minute. You know, if they happen to be a Christian person, you know, why should they not follow thou shalt not kill? It's a perfectly good reason not to go to the front, isn't it? You know, it's all a joke, isn't it? Ridiculous, really. And of course, the Germans were Christians themselves, you know, and that's why they were singing together, and they ended up playing a game of football in the afternoon or in the morning or whatever. And of course, I don't know whether the truce lasted throughout the day, but the troops basically just wouldn't fight. They didn't want to fight on Christmas Day, you know, because they felt it was kind of sacred, you know, because they were Christians, you know what I mean? Both of them, on both sides, Germans and British, you know. It's just ridiculous, honestly. So, you know, they had a game of football. I don't know who won the game. I don't know what the score was. No idea. But I'd love to have seen that, you know, if that was filmed. And, you know, I think there are a couple of pictures somewhere, maybe. But if that was filmed on a cine roll or something like that, it would be absolutely fabulous to watch and watch the interaction, you know, between basically what were kids, you know. I mean, the average age of a kid in Vietnam was only 19. There's a famous song by Paul Hardcastle called 19, and that was about, you know, Vietnam. It was quite a good song. Came out in, I don't know, the 80s sometime. Yeah. But, you know, Vietnam, I mean, my goodness. Before they were officially at war in, I can't remember what year it was exactly. They were already in Vietnam. They'd been doing all kinds of operations and nefarious activities in Vietnam well before they were officially at war, which they shouldn't have been doing. And they did a lot of illegal things, which were against the Geneva Convention as well. And all that. So, anyway, never mind, eh? Dear me. Talk about something nice. I can't think of anything nice. It's too heavy, isn't it? Far too heavy for a lovely day like this. Look at that. Looks nice, doesn't it? Wish we could see some fish. Oh, there's some skaters on top. Water skaters. See if I can film these for you. Hang on. Don't actually press the wrong button somehow. I'll have to get down here. Creep down. Try not to frighten them off. Water skaters. There were tons of them last year at one point. I don't know if you can see them there. Can you see them? These ones who always fascinated me as a kid. Water skaters. Really nice to see some insects still thriving, you know, somehow. Another one there. I don't know if you can see them. See the ripples they make anyway. And they, what do they call it? I've forgotten what they call it now, how they manage to skate on the water. It's something to do with surface, well, I can't remember what you call it. Anyway, never mind that. I can't see any fish. No fish. When I was a kid, there'd be tons of minnows, little tiny ones, and sticklebacks and everything, you know, all over the place. There's no fish. But water skaters, I think they eat little midges and stuff like that. Which doesn't seem to be many flying insects. Little ones, you know. Yeah. The little one there. You see him? You see the shadows he makes on the floor of the pool, and you can see that on the river. There they go. Which way the camera's going. I'll climb up the bank now. I've just got down and I can't get back up. Oops. My goodness. Oh, I'm gonna get muddy knees. Never mind. Get muddy knees. Never mind. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's lovely. Lovely. It's turned out really nice now. I see the birds singing. Oh, there's quite a few little insects here. Midges and stuff. Just saw a big flock of them. So, nature's trying. Oops. And went in. Quite steep this bank. I don't know what else went over. See the level of the water, it must have gone pretty high for all them sticks to be there at some stage. Yeah. So loud. Ice skating, did you see that? Yeah. My first sergeant turned 18 in Vietnam. Well, there you go. There you go, exactly. Spot on, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 18. Wow. But the average age was 19, so I presume there was, I don't know, was the 16-year-olds over there? I don't know. Did you know, Lynn? You know, if we think, well, average, what is an average? It's the middle, isn't it, I think? So, most of them were 19, but some of them must have been younger, and some of them, well, a lot of them a bit older, up to 24 maybe, and the older ones, obviously, you know, in the 30s and stuff like that, a few of them. But most of them were all kids, basically. Yeah, crazy, isn't it? What do you know when you're 18? You don't really know who you are yet, do you? Haven't really got an idea. You know, it's funny, I'm sort of pointing the camera at the bottom at the river, and of course you can't see it because all you can see is my silly face. There we go. Yeah. But it's a lovely spot, this. There's loads of paths on here that you can go and go round and round. You can go by the river all the time. This looks a bit of a stagnant bit. I think it's because of this bank here of mud. It's almost as if it needs clearing out, but it's funny how it's running stronger down there, and yet here it's just not moving at all. It's a bit weird. Maybe there's another little tributary cutting in, you know, that's feeding that, making that water flow. This seems just a stagnant pool, this bit. Isn't it really? It's got, especially that there. It's got that horrible looking yellow stuff, and I presume that's not too good. Yeah. Anyway, look at the sun in there. So bright. Anyway, I hope whoever's there apart from Lynn is enjoying this. I know Lynn is. So this is, you know, for anyone who can't get out into the countryside and that, you know, if you're, you know, unable for whatever reason, maybe you're ill or you've physical problems, or, you know, or you just unable to get out, you know, I don't know. You know, it's nice to be able to see some nature, isn't it? So hopefully I've not bored everyone too much. I'm going to wade in there. Wade in here. Really lovely spot. I love the sound of the water. It's incredible how it's rushing down here, and yet down there it was totally still, so I don't understand it. There must be another little, there must be different bits feeding it, or maybe it goes under. You know, where the stagnant water was, maybe it goes underground somewhere, which I haven't noticed. Some sinkhole, and then comes back up after the kind of dead pools, you know. Yeah. It's shifting along pretty fast there now. There's one. That's a skimmer. Very cool, a skimmer. So if I try and skim it across here, see if I can see how many times it jumps. I don't know whether it's going to film it right. Whoops. Let me get my feet wet if I go any further. I'll try and do a skim. The camera might shake a bit when I throw it. I don't know. Oh no, that was no good. That's what we used to call a duck's farts as kids. You know, when it wouldn't skim. Oh, that's one. Look. There we go. I don't know when you caught that on camera. I used to love doing this. We used to do this for hours as kids. This is quite a big one. Might be a bit tricky, this one. Oh no, it's gone straight over the other bank. Cool. Let's see what that one's like. I'll find another one. Oh, that looks good. This one here. Try this one. Used to count the jumps. That was 3 there, I think. And sometimes you'd get a nice little stone and it'd make, you know, I don't know, about 10 or 12 little jumps, you know. Oh, there's goes one. That's a good example. I've done about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or something like that there. It's not bad. Some ripples there. Beautiful, isn't it? for it all to steady down, and we'll do a big rip now. There we go. That's pretty amazing. Did you enjoy that? We skip rocks, so you call it skipping rocks. Oh, that's cool. We call it rock skipping. Yeah. Hi Martha, how are you? How's Alberta? You still locked out of your channel? Oops. Martha, you still locked out of your channel, or maybe you've gone? I don't know. It said 3 just now, and then just disappeared. That's what Martha's saying. All right. Wow. Look at this. Lynn's dad enlisted for Korea at 14. Wow. There you go. Here's Martha. Hey there, David. Hi, Lynn. Finally made your live stream. Wow. Hope you're still here. Wherever you are. Wow, 9 centimetres of snow. What's that? Let's have a look. That's a centimetre, isn't it? That's about centimetre 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Something like that, I guess. That's about 9 centimetres, isn't it? Where we're going. Something like that. Fair bit of snow. Yeah. It's not real snow, is it? You know, it's chemical crap. Yeah. Have you noticed when you're walking in the snow how it doesn't squeak because of the surfactants? Because there's no friction, there's very little friction because they're separating the particles. So, you know, it's like, you know, that's what it is. When you make a snowball, it used to squeak in your hands. But I made a snowball the other day and it didn't squeak at all. And it didn't now, it was quite a few days ago. But it didn't actually squeak at all. And when I rolled it, it wouldn't pick up. You know, it wouldn't pick up other. You know, it wouldn't pick up loads of other snow. You know, it wasn't sort of like accumulating like the normal snowball effect, getting larger and larger and larger. I bowled it quite a long way down the path. I think I did a video. Yeah, I did do a video on it, and it didn't pick up anything virtually. It was exactly the same size as when I bowled it. So there you go. Come out of the pond now. Let's see what's going on. Somewhere else. Got wet feet now, but never mind. It's a nice day now. It's freezing before. Absolutely freezing. You know, I was rubbing my hands together and, you know, teeth were almost chattering. I was sitting down feeding the geese. And there's a few ducks. Yeah. Kids messing about fighting. Hope they're not hurting each other. Don't look like they are. I think they're just playing. We've got to watch some of these kids to get out of order sometimes. And I try and stop them behaving nastily to one another. What's happened now and again? I think they're just being friendly. Yeah, they're alright. I think practicing the judo or something. I don't know. I won't film them. Walk past So that's good. It's all good natured or not. They're not hurting each other, are they? No, they're just playing. Are they just messing about, or are they practicing judo?
Just for a bit of fun.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, a little bit doesn't hurt. You don't actually really hurt each other. So that's fine.
Never hurt each other.
No.
I would. Well,
yeah, well,
us three are in a
yeah,
relationship.
okay. There's always one in there. There's always one.
Pardon?
Yeah, no, we're just playing.
Yeah, no. That's
Yeah,
cool.
we're boyfriend.
Yeah,
Boyfriend.
cool, no problem. No, my son used to do jiu-jitsu. I was wondering if you were practicing moves or something.
One session.
Pardon?
I nearly died, so I quit.
Oh, you quit?
Yeah.
So you did jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Little Letty. Basically, the instructor went up to him, put him in a headlock, and he passed out and got sent to hospital.
You passed out?
Hello.
Wow.
See, remember on your first session when you got passed out and then you got sent... remember when you got...
You did.
Matt, remember when you got sent to hospital on your first session because the instructor
Don't worry, none
strangled
of
you?
you's on camera because I'm doing a live stream. Oh, yeah.
Did you get put in a headlock by the instructor, yeah?
And he actually passed out and went to hospital again.
That's a bit...
Yeah, bloody hell. Well, that was a bit violent. If he was an instructor,
Was the instructor?
He was going to be over the top then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that to someone who's just learning, should he? Arsehole, you should have prosecuted him. Do you know what I mean? You should have done.
Yeah.
Well, he could have done. Why not? You know what I mean? You shouldn't be allowed to get away with that. It's just macho behaviour, that, isn't it? It's just showing off. Yeah, it is bloody stupid. Bloody idiot. He might have broken your bloody neck. Stupid son. Yeah, exactly. Was he a really big fella or whatever? No,
He was big, but he wasn't tall.
no.
He was built.
But yeah, exactly. But he was a man and you were a kid, you know. Not on, man.
He was just a little boy.
Exactly. How old was he at the time when that happened?
Huh?
How old were you at the time? 10? Bloody hell. That's totally wrong, that. It's evil. It's evil, that. That's sick.
Anyways, have a good day.
Anyway, yeah, I hope your parents gave him a real good telling off.
They went in.
Pardon?
They went into the studio.
They went into what? Did they complain? Did they complain, yeah? Did the parents complain?
Yeah.
And what did he say about it?
He just started arguing.
Yeah, and because he was a macho man, he probably frightened your parents, probably. Yeah, what an arsehole. Yeah, okay, see you later. Take care. And you have a lovely day as well. Okay. Yeah, nice kids. Did you hear that story then? Did you hear that story then? Yeah, it's wrong, that, and it's totally wrong, isn't it? It's evil. Wow. Snow makes that most satisfying crunch while stepping through it. Oh, is it still doing that then? A minute. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, if it's really frozen snow with a frozen sort of layer on top of it, it would make a crunching sound, I should imagine. But was it making, if it was soft snow, then it should make a squeaking sound when you tread on it, don't you think? That's how I remember it. You know, we used to get buckets of snow up in the hills where I used to live in Derbyshire, and it used to be wonderful. We used to go sledging and all that lot, and the snow used to come down, and it was, you know, it was soft snow, you know, it wasn't frozen solid or anything like that. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know. Yeah. That's a really horrible story, isn't it? Poor kid at 10 years old, you know. Yeah. A nice lad. I was glad he was all right. He could have broke his bloody neck, couldn't he, the idiot? What a plonker. I don't know whether they use that word in America, do you? Plonker. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so where are we going? So, I've actually not been round this bit before, so it's all new to me. I'll show you that anyway. There we go. Yeah, this is a new little bit. I'm not walked down this bit. Looks like there's another stream here or something. That's a bit difficult getting across here. I should make it somehow. Let's have a go. It's a bit steep. Oh, jeez. Somehow I made it. Shoes are a bit muddy. Oh, that's a nice tree, isn't it? Look at that beauty. Beautiful thing. Been there for what, 200-300 years that at least? Maybe more, I don't know. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at it, it's massive. Look at it, it's like elephant's feet, isn't it? Wow. Amazing tree. Beautiful. I saw an even bigger one than this. Pretty sure this is not a birch, a beech. I'm pretty sure this is a beech. Yeah, lovely trees, aren't they? Beautiful. And you get beech nuts often. Oh yeah, it is a beech because these are the beech nut shells. And these are the beech nuts here. See these ones, what they're little triangle shaped nuts. See, nature's better than them, innit? Nature's better than any pyramids or any bullshit that they build. You know, nature's pure, you know what I mean? It's got nothing to do with science. It just is. It's just absolutely beautiful. And it's took absolute, thousands and thousands of years, millions of years to create its wonders. And everything you look at almost is just a wonder, These beech nuts, you can actually eat them. Birds eat them and stuff. And squirrels and that, blah, blah. That's beech nut. What's the name? Yeah, husk. Yeah, it's always right, you see, it was a beech tree. Why didn't I look on the ground in the first place? Before I stuck my neck out and swore it was a beech tree when it turned out to be something entirely different. Oh dear. Oh dear. This is rather a nice bit, this. Let's see what's up. Yeah. All these are going to be a few crocuses. That might be a crocus, that one. That'll be a bluebell. I don't like treading on it, but a few of them we can't avoid treading on. Because there's everywhere. There we go. The moss here, it's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. The colours, look. Can't get them out of a paint box, can you really? Look at that. Colours and them. You were saying yesterday that you didn't Hope it's not all starting from the beginning again. Somehow my phone went weird. Well, that's good. I'm glad we're still on air. Because I've got 79% battery now, so we shouldn't have faded out. It just said something went wrong, so I don't know what the hell happened. So luckily I managed to get back in to retrieve the stream. I thought I'd lost it all, which had really irritated the hell out of me because I put quite a lot of work into this one before even anyone joined me. I was on a roll, sort of talking, well, fairly interesting, controversial things, you know, trying to be as controversial as possible. Well, they're all saying bye-bye and I'm back here. Oh dear, oh well. Oh wow, that's weird, everyone's gone. We're still there, so, wow, yeah. What have we got here now? Yeah, you can see Martha. Yeah, he's going to shovel up the snow. Right, well, I think I'll end it now. I can always start another one. Yeah, I'll just, I'll end it there. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, official people spotting, nefarious, I don't know, conversational issues or whatever. What's the word for it? Spotting well done for spotting a slightly deprogrammed, non-programmed individual, and no doubt marking me down on the card for instant destruction. Thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers. Bye bye.